ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंकुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। So Hare Krishna dear devotees, and welcome today's Bhagavatam session, our daily divine discussion, and we are discussing from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, shloka number 11. Now the speciality of this shloka is Prabhupada mentions this as in the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So when he's writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, he's in the introduction he mentions this shloka. Why he mentions it, we are going to come to know when we discuss this. So what we are going to do is we are going to give two devotees a chance to recite after, only two, top two. Others don't feel bad. तद्वाग् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमभद्यवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः। तद्वाग् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमभद्यवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः। Raksha Mataji, Yashita Prabhu, Bhakti Sundari Mataji. You can go in a flow.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जन्ताग अविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोक अवध्यवत्यपि नामान्यन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः। हरे कृष्ण।
Very nice. Next.
तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनतागविपल्वो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्वति अपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशो अङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः।
Excellent. Next.
Thank you.
Someone else?
तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनतागविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य शोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः। हरे
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderfully recited. This is the shloka that Prabhupada writes. The essence of the shloka is even if a spiritual literature which is connected to Krishna is composed imperfectly, yes, there are no proper alliterations, simile, metaphors, grammatical errors, but still, nevertheless, the devotees accept it because it's the glorification of Krishna. Let's go for some words. Yes, some words very important. Tad Vag Visarga. Vag is actually speech. Brahmaji's wife, her name is Vag Devi. And Visarga means creation. So, what is Vag Visarga? Vag Visarga is usage of words. It can also mean stories. Yes, so that is the meaning of Vak Visarga. So Tad Vak Visarga, that production of words, that use of words those stories. Yes. So previous verse was negative. Negative verse means Nayad Vachas Chitra Padam Yarir Yasho. Na Harer Yasho. There is not the glorification of Krishna, but it is all Padam Chitra Padam means beautifully composed. You have a beautiful composed poetry which is not glorification of Krishna, useless. Now there is something which is not properly composed but is a glorification of Krishna. What do you have to say about that? So this shloka is talking about that, right? So what happens to Tattvag Visarga? Yes, sometimes it is in any words they are composed strictly. Sometimes they are composed very carelessly, grammatically wise. No, as in terms of grammar, it's composed very carelessly. Yeah, Pratishlokam Abhaddivatyapi. There are no many ornaments in the verse. It is not very poetic. It's not rhyming sometimes. The analogy that is appealing. It is not very using suitable words and metaphors. Pratishlokam Abhaddivatyapi. But still, what is there? Namani Anantasya Yasho Ankitaniyat. It is full of the names and Yasha. Harinama is there and Hari Yasha is there. Last sloka there was no Hari Yasha. Padam Harir Yasho, na Harir Yasho. But here there is full Harir Yasho. Then what will happen? Shrinvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti, Sadhava. What do sadhus do? Sadhus means devotees. Shrinvanti, they listen to it, no matter what. It is not a fantastic class. The speaker doesn't know proper English or is not having proper command over the language. The speaker did not speak properly. Grammatical errors are so many. Doesn't matter. It is glorification of Krishna. Gayanti, the singers, the devotees will also repeat it. They'll sing this message. Oh, it is not properly composed, but still we will sing it nevertheless. Grinanti. Grinanti means without that saturation, but with complete satisfaction in heart, they will accept it and they will hear and chant again and again and again. Not just once, again. Right? So if speaker is present, what they'll do? They'll hear the glories. If hearer is present, somebody is interested to hear the class, oh, we want to hear the class, then they'll speak the glories, Grinanti. And otherwise, if there is nobody else, Gayanti, they will sing it to themselves also. They'll hear so that they can hear and they can sing. They can do both. Yes. So Abhaddavati, that is that language. So Abhaddavati means even if it is grammatically incorrect, there is no proper grammatic composition, still no problem. Anyone would like to read the translation? Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada was very confident. He very clearly said this Bhagavatam, we just have to preach Bhagavatam, there will be Viplavaha. Viplav means what? Viplav means a revolution. Revolution in the mindsets of people and thus a revolution throughout the whole world. Yes. And Prabhupada mentions the 8th canto, first chapter, that our movement, Krishna Consciousness movement, our ISKCON movement, is growing simply by glorification of Bhagavatam. It's a fact. We sitting here and we are glorifying Bhagavatam, we are actually expanding ISKCON movement. It is happening. We distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets, we are expanding ISKCON movement. it will happen. This happens. That's the beauty of this particular shloka, and that's the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I remember his pastime when he was living this mortal material world. At that particular point of time, there was one very sweet singer who was invited by the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that you should sing Kirtan for Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. But then he stopped that Kirtan. He said, stop. I don't want him to hear. I want this devotee to sing. But that devotee did not know any sur tal. He didn't know what is the beat. He didn't know what is that swara. What are the ornaments of music. He used to sing Besura. Those of you who understood Besura means there is absolutely no melody. There's one Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So somebody sing like that. So second, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. There's no melody, there is no beat. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to taste that devotee's devotion. This devotee may not be a singer, but he is a kirtaniya because he has that spirit of Sankirtan. He's chanting the holy name purely, right? The holy name, pure holy name is manifesting. It doesn't matter if you're singing properly or not. Ultimately, Krishna will accept his devotion, right? So that's the whole point of this particular shloka. Can I see more videos? Just as you're looking at me, I'm also looking at all of you. So please keep your videos on. Alright, we'll go to the purport. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's a long one, let's see. Okay. Her Grace Bhakti Sundari Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is a qualification of a great thinkers to pick up the best from the worst. It is said that the intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place, should accept a good and qualified wife even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. These are some of the ethical instructions for everyone, in every place without exception. But a saint is far above the level of an ordinary man. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of the Supreme Lord, polluted, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change, and as a result of propagating the transcendental literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. While preparing this commentation on this particular stanza of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China could just scroll up, has attacked the border of India with a militaristic spirit. We have practically no business in the political field. Yet, we see that previously there were both China and India, and they both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of the world was God fearing, pure hearted, and simple, and there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no cause of quarrel between the two countries, China and India, over land which is not very suitable for habitation and certainly there is no cause for fighting on this issue. But due to the age of quarrel, Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on slight provocation. This is this is due not to the issue in question, but to the polluted atmosphere of this age. Systematically, there is propaganda by a section of people to stop glorification of the name and fame of the Supreme Lord.
Thank you.
Therefore, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is being spoken here? Prabhupada initially talks about who is a Paramahamsa, an essence collector. Just like a honeybee goes and collects essence from different flowers, we have to pick up the best from everywhere. And in this context, he quotes this very famous shloka of Chanakya Pandit. He says, Vishadapi amritam gayam, amedyadapi kanchanam, dushkuladapi striratnam, nechadapi subhashitam. He gives 4 examples, Chanakya Pandit. The first thing that he says is, Vishadapi amritam gayam. Even in a bit of poison, if there is amrita, yes, we can accept the amrita. Because amrit has a totally different property than a poison, right? It is opposite property. Wish will take away your life, will reduce your lifespan, but amrit is something that will increase the duration of your life. It will increase the ayusha. So although amrit is kept in a pit of all poisons, we can accept amrit as amrit, right? The second one is amedyat api kanchanam. Now I'd like to ask you a question. You have a golden ring, and that golden ring unfortunately falls into garbage where there is all stool and dirty substance. How many of you will take it back? Take the gold? Won't take. There's only one who will not take. Others are all intelligent, they will take. Shastras say you can take it, you can wash it with water and all the disinfectants and then accept it because gold is gold, right? Yeah, so that's the power of gold. So Amedyatapi Kanchanam. An intelligent person will take the gold, he'll wash it and he will. If that you don't do that, somebody else will take your gold like that. Dushkuladapi Stri Ratnam, which means the spouse may be from a lower kula, not so proper family, but still Stri Ratnam. He or she has very good qualities. Then that person can be accepted as a spouse. Doesn't matter which family you come from. Yeah, the qualities matter a lot. And yeah, there are different things. There is Kulavati, there is Rupavati, Gunavati. Yes, Kulavati means coming from a great family. Okay, if I marry this person, then I will get associated with a very big family. That okay. Another one is Rupavati. Oh, this is a very beautiful girl. If I get married, you see, I'll get a lot of enjoyment. A person imagines like that. But Gunavati, qualities ultimately matter. Yes, a person, the partner with the good qualities will always support a person during all good and bad times. Again, Chanakya Pandit only in one of his Niti Shastra, first chapter itself, he tells what is the test? What is the test of a wife? Test of a wife is bankruptcy. When you lose all the money, what your wife does? She'll leave you or she'll support you. So Sri Ratnam, Dushkuladapi Sri Ratnam. Although may not be a Kulavati or Rupavati, but Gunavati, good qualities, of course, she'll always stand by you. That's the point. And finally, Nichadapi Subhashitam. Somebody from a lower caste. Yes, he's not from Brahman family, but still, he is expert in different qualities and having a lot of knowledge. Such a person's knowledge can be accepted. Knowledge is always worshipable. It is said, Vidya Sarvasva Bhushanam. Right? Knowledge is the uh, quality which is everybody's ornament. But that can be mentioned. So the whole point is about accepting the essence. Yes, don't look for poetry, alliterations. Look for simply glorification of Lord. Don't look for how the class is given. What is the content of the class? The content of the class is Krishna, it is perfect. Doesn't matter. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur again, like to give an example of he would go in the banks of Radhakund, and all the Babajis of Radhakund, they would think that now we are going to hear very sweet Radha Krishna pastime from Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. But he will start describing Ishopanishad and start discussing heavy philosophy. Because that's what we need, because that is also about Krishna. Right? Anything about Krishna is sweet. And personally, we go to our spiritual master's yatra every year without fail. And you know something? The yatra happens on Deepavali as well as Govardhan Puja. So these two festivals are fixed. And you know something? I've been attending yatra for so many years, and Maharaj gives the same lecture, the same points, with the same flow on these two occasions. In the Vrindavan yatra, he would speak the same things what he has spoken before. In Mayapur yatra, he will speak the same things he has spoken before. Similarly, in Jagannath Puri yatra, it's the same pastime, nothing changes. But what changes is your consciousness. Each year we hear those pastimes with a developed consciousness, better consciousness, right? If one has the attitude, okay, I know all these things, I've heard before, then there is no benefit. There is no spiritual benefit at all, right? On the other hand, somebody hears with this consciousness that, well, this is something that is going to give me Krishna Prem. And what is Bhagavatam telling here? Namani anantasya yashwankitanyat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. These devotees will accept it constantly. We will like to. Vayam tu navittapyama uttama shloka vikrame yachanmata rasagyanam swadu swadu pade pade. Even Parikshit Maharaj has all this knowledge. What do you think Parikshit Maharaj has been hearing from childhood? He is the grandson of Pandavas. What would a Pandava spoken to him? What would a Kripacharya spoken to him? He would have grown in his life just by hearing all these pastimes. But still, what does Shukadeva Goswami see in Parikshit? He says, Yan nutanase ishasya shrunvanapi katamuhu. Yes. You are a Bhagavata Uttama. You are the best of devotees. Why? Because you are hearing Krishna's pastime in such a way it is as though it is new. They should be our consciousness in hearing Bhagavatam. Even if I know all these points. But still, Yan nutanase ishasya shrunvanapi katamuhu. In material life, if you know something, you are advanced. But in spiritual life, you know something, still you are hearing as though you don't know it, then you are advanced. In spiritual life, you come and say, I know everything, well, that's a failure. That means you don't have any taste. I know this pastime. I know Bhagavatam. I know Gita. You are not even humble. You will not be able to chant properly also. No Trinada Pishunichena. Right? That's the point. And then comes the point where Prabhupada is talking about India-China relationship. Yeah, this is... The whole principle behind this is when the society is God conscious, people focus on how to grow each other's Krishna conscious. But when people are not Krishna conscious, then they are interested in some piece of land which is not going to give any kind of benefit, nothing. Yeah, right? This is the point. Prabhupada is saying these countries are lived very peacefully because both were spiritual in nature. In fact, there used to be exchange of spiritual knowledge. Earlier in the 6th century, there was a Brahmana from South India, Dravida Desh. His name was Bodhidharman. He went to China. So after going to China, he is the one who was going there to teach them Shastra. But he saw those monks were getting beaten up by goons, and the goons were stealing all the rice and the grocery of the monks, Chinese monks. So he told them, before you study Shastra, you study Shastra. And thus he taught them Kalaripait, the ancient Indian martial arts which was taught by Shiva to Parshuram. So those martial arts he taught them to protect themselves. First you learn to protect themselves, for yourself. Let's say, how many of you seen Chinese monks? They also have shikha. You've seen that? Yes, they also wear saffron robes. There was one very famous movie, Enter the Dragon. So there Bruce Lee's guru is wearing saffron. Even Bruce Lee is also wearing saffron. All the disciples, brahmacharis, they all wear saffron. And his guru also has shikha. It's very similar because Bodhidharma went and taught them. And then later on he went and taught them Dhyan. That Dhyan became Chan. And later on the Chinese who went to Japan, they made it Zen. So that's what we hear, the Zen meditation, etc. Right? What is that? Zen meditation. It's come from Dhyan. This is how it is developed. So there was a lot of spiritual exchange between these countries, but later on, because of the countries becoming atheistic, then they all developed this competitive spirit. This is what Prabhupada is trying to say. And Prabhupada is saying this point, why? Because Prabhupada wrote these books in the 1960s. Yeah. So 1962 he completed this volume and then he went and presented to Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. And Lal Bahadur Shastri, after he read the first canto of Bhagavatam, he was so very impressed. He said, I'll definitely help you to preach. But what has happened is Pakistan has attacked our borders, 1965. So I'll just finish this and I will come. After this, we'll take this seriously. Later on, he went to Tashkent and never came back. So somehow Krishna's arrangement, Krishna wanted Prabhupada to do this alone. So Lal Bahadur Shastri had accepted he had read so this first canto was going on at the time when there were Indo-China tensions. At that particular point of time, this was going. Yeah, who would like to read next? Okay, Riya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
From where Prabhuji?
Therefore.
Therefore, there is a great need for disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. It is the duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world, to do all the supermost good as well as to bring about the desired peace in the world. Because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work, there is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. We are confident that if a transcendental message of a Srimad Bhagavatam, we are confident that if the transcendental message of the Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, certainly there will be a change of heart, and naturally the people in general will follow them. The mass of people in general are tools in the hands of the modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. We know that our honest attempt to present this great literature conveying transcendental messages for reviving the God consciousness of the people in general and re-spiritualizing the world atmosphere is fraught with many difficulties. Our presenting our presenting this matter in adequate language, especially a foreign language, will certainly fail, and there will be so many literary discrepancies despite our honest attempt to present it in the proper way. But we are sure that with all our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration, and the leaders of a society will still accept this due to its being an honest attempt to glorify the Almighty Lord, Almighty
Thank you.
God. Hare Krishna.
So there are 3 points mentioned here. The first point is that Prabhupada is telling Indians have failed in their duty. It's the duty of every responsible Indian that we take this message and we preach. Bharat bhumite hoila manushya janmayar janama sarthaka kori koro paropakar. This we are not doing. We have failed. And because we are failing in our duty, that's why we are not happy. Prabhupada is making this very clear. So, the moment somebody is received in the Indian body, it is a responsibility to perfect one's life and preach this message to the whole world, to everybody. That's the responsibility we have. Spiritual responsibility. Every country, every people, they're good at something or the other. Right? So, we see China very good at copying technology. Japan very good at making technology. Germany good at electronics. Switzerland good with watches. Every country is having its speciality. And what about India? India also has its speciality, and the speciality is in spiritual science. That's why it is natural. Somebody who's born in this bhumi, it's very natural for them. Bharat Bhumi, it's very natural to perform austerity. It's very natural to, uh, uh, get inclined towards spirituality, and just do it. There is no use of blindly imitating the West. Rather, if we imbibe the proper values of Krishna consciousness, the whole world will follow. That's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada always used to tell, I'm one old man. I'm an old Indian man. What did I do? Just see. You are all youngsters, young Indian boys and girls. What can you do? Unfortunately, in Prabhupada's times, Indians did not take up to Krishna consciousness. There were a handful of Indians. I was talking to His Grace Anuttama Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple during the Toronto Rath Yatra. So Prabhu was telling me that previously we needed guys like you to show that our movement is authentic. But now the tables have turned. They says now you guys need people like us to show that the movement is authentic. It's international society, not Indian society for Krishna consciousness. Right. Yeah. So Prabhupada's time, many of the Indians did not take. That was Prabhupada's greatest pain in the heart. But now many Indians are taking up to Krishna consciousness, and thus every Indian should take this responsibility to give this Krishna consciousness to the world now. Accept it and go. So unless we study the Bhagavatam daily, how will we be able to preach? Right? So that is why it's our responsibility to do this Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. That's one point. Second point is the leaders of the society will accept Bhagavatam. I remember even when I used to go to the bus parties with a group of brahmacharis and students, we used to go to different villages. We always used to, I saw my seniors, my superiors who used to be there. They would try to locate where is the sarpanch of the village, which means where's the head of the village, right? We really want to reach out to that person, and they would go reach out to that person, and they would go and give him the Bhagavatam set, and that person would take. So Bhagavatam is for the leaders, and that personality takes Bhagavatam, then he will suddenly make some phone calls, call some people, and many of them would take the Bhagavad Gita and other books, and then he would request for contact, and he'll say, we'll call you, let's do a very big program in our village. And that's how preaching would happen. Yeah. So somehow the leaders of the society, they are supposed to be given this Bhagavatam. It somehow appeals. So it's a request to all the devotees to spot the leaders and push the Bhagavatam sets in that direction. It happens. Recently in Winnipeg we had our Bhagavad Katha. Some of you, how many of you saw that? You could see it? Yeah, it was there on the YouTube. And how to spot a leader, it was very simple. I told the hosts to make an announcement. Who would like to next have the katha in their house? We have done it for December. We would like to have one for Jan, one for Feb, one for March. So immediately there were hands up that we too want Bhagavatam established in our house. We want installation, and we will be the host. We will take initiative. These people are the leaders of society. And somehow I did a background check of these people. Under them, they are employing at least about 100 to 200 people. Yeah. These are the ones who took. And the hosts who made this inaugural event possible, they are the ones who invited such leaders. We leaders have their own association, right? So 3 Bhagavatam sets and 3 programs. That's the beauty of Bhagavatam. Hari Hari. Amazing, right? This is how we do. All we do was desire, that's it. Desire to go. Because winters, how will we distribute Prabhupada's books? That was a concern. It's becoming very difficult in this winter peg, Winnipeg winter peg. It's very difficult to distribute the books. How do we do it? Yeah, very simple. We do it by starting such programs. So we request devotees, please start such Bhagavad programs. You get an opportunity to go out in the house. People may not come to temple, but they don't mind going to others' house because this partying culture is there. So change that partying culture into spiritual party. My Srimad Bhagavatam and Kirtans. Even the kids came and told us that this Bhagavatam is so interesting. Yes, it's so nice that we didn't feel like it. We never sit normally in any spiritual discourse. But Bhagavatam is so interesting now, we will never get up from any discourse. Yes, even the teenagers, the so-called difficult customers, they also enjoyed Bhagavatam. That's the beauty of Bhagavatam, right? So leaders take it. That is the second point that's mentioned. And the last point that is being taken up here is Prabhupada himself telling, because he is trying to present this in a foreign language. English is foreign to Prabhupada. And the language that Prabhupada follows is 1920s Scottish English. And the English that we have today is different. But Prabhupada, however, nevertheless is confident. No. The authentic, genuine readers, they will accept it. Of course, there's absolutely no mistake in Prabhupada. Prabhupada's perfect. Why? Because he's trying to present Krishna. Or I'm not trying, he is presenting Krishna. So thus it's perfect. But some grammarians may find out fault. Prabhupada says intelligence is the next door neighbor of the soul. Come on, somebody staying next door is the neighbor. Why do you have to say neighbor? It is like, I will return back on 7th of January. It's a wrong English. You just return, you don't return back. Correct? So there's next door neighbor of the soul. So that's terminology is wrong, but the spirit is right. Yes, the spirit is absolutely correct. So Prabhupada is requesting the readers, please catch the spirit. That's more important than the external language. Alright, we'll pause here and we will pause our discussion, and tomorrow we'll resume the shloka, and Krishna willing we'll take more shlokas. Okay? And we'll take the questions. Some devotees are having questions also. We'll take it tomorrow. Thank you all very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samasta Gaud Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaud Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you.